Keep pressing to me.
Hey people, keep pressing to me here and welcome to my YouTube channel. For those who are new, welcome. Just want to let you guys know who I am. I am a goal strategist, a purpose pusher, and a speaker, speaking the word of God, whether it's through exhortation or prophetic word or just speaking of the goodness of the living God. Overall, I just want you to consider me as your virtual accountability partner that is encouraging you to press towards you accomplishing your goals, walking in the fullness of your purpose, and you drawing closer with your relationship with God. Whew, that was a lot. So let's get into it, honey. Like I said in my last video, it's kind of like a clean background. I haven't, you know, got anything to put in my background. So you kind of just let me know in the comments below whether or not like some stuff that you guys recommend. I had thought about like getting a different chair and getting like a bookshelf with a cute little plant, like a little, situation in the back. But in the meantime, it's gonna stay clear. So just kind of let me know in the comments below what you guys recommend. Okay, so enough of the stalling. Let's go ahead and get into it. I just wanted to just kind of like do a little chat in retrospect of going into ministry and accepting the call. And I just kind of want to talk about some of the realities. I think that it is it's not a thing. I know because I'm experiencing it. Like accepting the call and walking into ministry and operating in ministry, it's a whirlwind of emotions. And just put a little disclaimer out there. I'm not just saying that my way is the only way or my experience is the only experience. It's, the call or, being called or accepting your call or, how God chooses or appoints you to operate in ministry is different because our positions is different and our callings and our gifts is different. So I just don't want to put it out there and make it seem like my way is the only way or my experience is the only experience. I just want to put my experience out there just to let others know that if by chance you are feeling some of the same feelings that I have or is currently experiencing, you're not alone, you're not crazy, and it's okay and it's part of the journey. So when I talk about, putting out some of my realities, I want to be truthful and transparent as possible. Again, as it pertains to my experience. So at the end of the day, to let other people know if you are feeling different feelings or had different experience or encounters, you're not alone. Okay? So yeah, I just want to kind of put that out there. So yeah, where would I like to start? I guess like we just started at the beginning. Like I think we're just gonna do a little. I don't know. This may be like a multiple part type situation. So yeah, let me know in the comments below that based on what you see thus far, if this is something that you want to kind of hear more of or something that you want me to go more into detail about. So because I ain't trying to be all alone. But yeah, just starting with, the initial call. Like, I knew God called me into ministry. I knew, first and foremost, I knew I was going to be in ministry in some form or fashion when I was a young child. Just being, like, in the church. I was brought up in church. So I'm not going to say because I was brought up in church, it was automatic, because that's not necessarily my case. Or I don't think that's the case for anybody, because we do have a choice. Or not necessarily a choice, but it's just a calling. It's a, when, God appoints you, So I feel like for me, the reason why I can say that I knew I was going to be in ministry in some form or fashion as a little girl is because, it was just something I enjoyed doing. And, yeah, granted, my grandfather was a pastor, and just being brought up with him, like he would just kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say reel me in, but he kind of reeled me in. I went with him, to like the bookstores to go, look and get certain books and You know, where we used to get the communion bread and the juice and the little cups and all that type of stuff, and just seeing, you know, I was brought up just seeing the ins and the outs of ministry, both the good and the bad. And that's a whole different video for a whole different another time. But yeah, you know, just being reared in, and I can remember me being intrigued and question, you know, asking a lot of questions like, what does this mean, or what does that mean, or, you know, why do you know, why are you up there preaching? Like, what is this thing called, you know, Christianity? Like, what it's all about? I can remember like being very, you know, intrigued at a young age. And I ain't gonna say like I was just this, you know, good Christian child, because I was bad. Like, I had a smart mouth and, you know, did, you know, a lot of fool la la. Like, yeah, I was in, you know, the praise team, and, you know, all that type of stuff. But I had my first kiss in the church, you know, at church, and my first little boyfriend at church, and whatever. That's, again, a whole nother conversation. But just kind of put it out there, like, I ain't this good at tushu. But yeah, I was in early on, I can honestly say that, you know, I had a passion and a desire to, I knew in some form or fashion I was going to do something in ministry. Pretty much, period. So when it came down to actually being called, like literally hearing the voice of the Lord saying, I'm calling you to, you know, preach or whatever, I would have to say, like, I had to say, like, my early teens, early 20s, I knew that the Lord had called me in a leadership position, because we all have our callings in some form or fashion. As being a believer, ultimately, as, you know, being a Christian, our goal is to spread the gospel. But as far as a leadership position, you know, with the fivefold ministry, that's the type of calling that I'm talking about. I knew the Lord called me. Now, to what? Initially, I did not know. All I knew was that the Lord had called me. He literally said, I'm calling you to, his exact words, I'm calling you to preach to the nations. I'm going to use your mouth to preach and to inspire. Hearing that, again, early 20s, in the midst of me already being confused, not really necessarily fitting in nowhere, like, you know, wilding out, dealing with just normal stuff that, you know, young adults go through, trying to figure out life, schooling, career, love, and then on top of the fact, turning up, rebelling, and just trying to find yourself. Hearing that, in the midst of that, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, it was a peaceful, scary concoction of a feeling. Like, it was literally a whirlwind. Like, it was just like, dang. If initially I was excited because I felt like that was the missing piece for my life, because I was just like doing so many things at that time and just trying to figure out my way, and just trying to, there was a lot of stuff at that time was not making sense to me. Like, you know, I didn't go off to school. I decided to stay at home, and at the time, you know, I'm thinking I'm just so in love and trying to rush that process or rush that desire to be a wife, and, you know, just so many stuff going around at that time, and, you know, with breakups, and, you know, you turn it up and you get legal and you definitely turn it up, and I'm traveling, and it's just all over the place at that time. But at the same time, which is so crazy about it, now that I look back at it, I was always doing something in ministry. Like, I kid you not, there have been moments and times where I was like heading to the club and just like saying, hey y'all, you know, I feel like God, you know, knowing that I'm doing something wrong, knowing I'm finna go in here and turn all the way up, get drunk, just turn up, like, amen, y'all, y'all saved. Like, just talk about salvation and stuff, like, definitely killing blood, you know, killing folks, you know, buzz and whatever. And just waking up. I remember there was times like I wake up and like be like, reading the devotional or reading the verse of the day, and just crazy, man. Just so lukewarm. Like I can righteously say that now. But yeah, I just always knew that, like, again, back to what I originally stated. Like me hearing it, receiving a call, again, it was it's an emotional of it was like a whirlwind of emotions, from fear, because I really didn't know anything about that, because I'm like coming from the Baptist world. You don't really see too many women, in like ministry. Like it wasn't no Heather Lindsay's or no Sarah J's or no Priscilla Shirers or Christine Caines. Definitely I wasn't seeing no white women, period. Me being in the South and from that Baptist world or whatever. So I just wasn't exposed to it. And I definitely wasn't exposed to, Christian influencers and what other stuff that we, say today. Like even with me, like, oh, helping people with their purpose and helping people, I'm a speaker and all that type of stuff. Like I was not exposed into that. So initially I'm like, Lord, what are you talking about? Like I'm either gonna be behind the pulpit or somebody first lady. That's what I was thinking initially. Like I don't understand what you're saying, because there's another thing. Like I ain't know nothing about evangelism or anything like that till much later in my walk. So I'm like confused. So here I am. I have this high moment with God, and He's telling me, and I receive, but I go from, it's receiving to confusion, because it's like, what exactly does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I or am I not gonna be behind the pulpit preaching, or am I gonna be somebody's first lady? Like which one is it? Because I don't know nothing else. So I received my call. Again, I'm still in the club. I'm still turning up. Still battling with my own identity and all that stuff. But what's so crazy about it, I'm chasing. So now the Lord got me intrigued. Now it had me in this space where I was just kind of like, okay, God, so what does that mean? Like it was just like He was like just sprinkling certain stuff to just kind of keep me intrigued, to kind of always chase Him and always speak to Him and talk to Him about it, so He can like tell me more about what you say, that who I am. You know what I'm saying? So much later, so let's kind of like fast forward. So my initial call was like beginning of I said late teens, early 20s. So let's start like around, let's say like 2016. So how old was that? That was 4 years ago. So let's say like 23. Yeah, because I'm 27 now. 23. I never forget. I was leaving the club. I'm telling you, just as lukewarm. Like I was leaving the club. Like I said, like again, I knew the Lord had a calling on my life, and I knew the Lord wanted me to do more and be more, but I was enjoying the nightlife too. You know what I'm saying? Like I was enjoying my little, my little boo things, and again going to the club and drinking and partying and all that type of stuff. I was enjoying both, but then I knew that the Lord was really changing me, and I knew that the Lord was really doing a thing in my heart when He started like changing my desires. So after a while, like my desires to go to the club, because again, I was so lukewarm, y'all. This is what I do. I ain't never really go to the club for real in Birmingham. Because I'm like, I don't want nobody to see me, whatever. So what I do, I'll, go to Atlanta, or like I was like a traveling clubber. Like I will go to Atlanta all the time, go to Tennessee, go to you know, surrounding states or whatever where I can, travel to, on a budget, on that on my little student, club, little student loan checks or whatever. What do you just call them? My dang, it's on the tip of my tongue. What you used to call them? School checks, whatever. My little money or whatever, and just kind of turn up or whatever, thinking that I'm grown. But I knew that the Lord had, was changing my desires when I just stopped, enjoying. Like it wasn't as fulfilling anymore. Like, at the time, like, my little partner in crime, I just kind of like, this ain't really fun no more. Like I ain't really enjoying it like I used to, or my little run-ins with my little boo things. I was just like, I don't even, like, the conviction was hitting hard, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, the Lord really got a hold. And I'll, never forget, it was 2016. I was leaving a club. I was leaving Gold Room Club in Atlanta. And I was talking to my friend at the time, and we were just, the Lord, kind of was revealing some things to her. And I was expressing to her. We was at the hotel room. It was like a scene from the movie. And I was just kind of like expressing, I feel like the Lord really want me, to kind of like slow down and, turn my life and kind of shift a little bit and just kind of turn from this. I feel like the Lord, he was really on me at that time, 2016, really, on me on two things well, more than two things, but to get become celibate. If you want to hear that journey, my ups and downs with that, let me know in the comments below. But to get celibate, become celibate, or however you want to word it, and he was really on me to, get into ministry and start, ministry. And at that time, it was a singles ministry. So here it is, 2017. I started living single ministry. That was my singles ministry at the time. And I was just kind of like encouraging other single Christians to, rely on the Lord and get healed and all that type of stuff. I forgot. It was like, what else I always say? Like, acknowledge yourself and embrace your singleness. And, it was an experience. Like, I never forget, I did my first conference that year. And if you want to hear more about that, like starting a conference and all that type of stuff, just let me know. And there'll be, more times that we have conversations, or more videos. So yeah, let me know below. And yeah, so I was just kind of like hitting the ground running, like always, doing posts, going. And then not only with the singles ministry, around the time, like I was, going on live all the time. Like I would go on live and like the Lord will give me a word to say. And 2017, that's when I really just started the whole thing called Keep Pressing. Like it was kind of like a saying for me, like keep pressing, keep going. And I was just like, get a word and just be, on Facebook and just say, Lord just told me to give you this, like God got you, just giving like encouraging messages, whatever. So it kind of like started 2017. Now here it is, I'm operating. But y'all, part of me is excited, but another part of me starting to get like very anxious. Like I used to have anxiety because it's like, it was just like a crazy experience. Like how it's hard to explain it. Like when you in that moment, you operating in ministry and you being used by God, it's like I ain't gonna say it's like a high, but it's like a supernatural experience. And it was just like a battle. It was just like I'm being used by God and I'm fulfilled, but then I come off this, I don't want to say a high because it's not a high, but you coming off this experience and you gotta live like a regular person. Like you gotta go to work and you can't really explain why you're shaking or why you're hot or why you hearing these voices and why you feeling what you feeling, because you feel like don't nobody else understand what you're saying. So there was a lot of moments where I felt alone. There was a lot of moments where I felt depressed. Ooh, child, that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, I was depressed. I was low. I felt I resented. I had some resentment. If that's how that's how I should say it. I had some resentment because it was like at that time I'm going all in, but I don't think I was properly healing from just regular stuff, and I don't think I allowed myself to really endure the process. Like I just hit the ground running without being prepared and being pruned and just getting myself really ready for ministry. So I got burnt out real quick. I think I did the ministry for like 2 years, and just still I was just struggling. I was struggling with my identity. Again, I did not know at that time. I didn't really know nothing about the prophetic. I ain't know nothing about evangelism. I didn't know nothing about any of that. So yeah, there was a lot of times I felt very confused with my calling. There was a lot of times where I was like, God, I don't even want this. Give it to somebody else. I don't want this. There was a lot of moments I felt unworthy. I felt very unworthy because I'm just like, Lord, I know, I don't deserve it. Like just, feeling like, because at that time, for me, I don't know about y'all, but I definitely felt like, in order for you to be in ministry, like you gotta be perfect. You either gotta be perfect or you gotta have an awesome testimony. Like you gotta be able to say, I came out of this, like I came out pure as gold, like I did this. And, I felt like I really didn't have that quite of a testimony to be like, here I am, here I go. Nor did I feel like, I was like that goody two-shoe where, I came from a good, clean background. Like, no, I did some stuff, I've done some stuff, and I'm still doing some stuff, and just felt like I had to be perfect. So there was like a season of my life where I felt like I had to like really, really clean up my image, and now I can't listen to that. Like I stopped listening to like it was a point, it was like a season of my life where I listened to nothing but gospel. And for, if that's what you do and that's what God called you to, or that's what you feel that you need to do with your walk, that's for you. But that was not for me. I wasn't drinking, or I just wasn't doing anything. And I felt myself resenting God. I'm like, dang, man, if this is Christianity, man, or this is what it means to be called, I don't want it. I'd rather go back. Like, I don't want it. And it took time for me to realize what it meant to be free, like what it means to be free and what it means to really operate. Like, it took for some time for me to kind of like, realize, and in order for me to really see it, like I had to, righteously take my time and read the Bible and just understand, like, man, the Bible full of folks messing up, people who making mistakes, messing up constantly. David constantly messing up. Paul constantly, he was a whole terrorist. Peter, a whole cusser. And it's just a Bible full of people of who's imperfect, but God was still using them. And I had to acknowledge that, like, you are called because God said it. Not nothing that you're gonna do, like, you're gonna fall short from the kingdom of God. You're gonna make mistakes, but your calling is still yours, because God said it, and He's not gonna take away from you. So just kind of like understanding, like, okay, to me, let's set some parameters. Let's set some boundaries. Let's figure out what is it. How can you still find your identity in the kingdom, but still, not feel like you're resented, or not feel like you are not a part, or just unhappy because you got this calling. You feel like you have to be this person. Like, no, you can still be you. You can let the Holy Spirit change you. Like, don't try to change yourself or make yourself what you ain't. Like, whatever, because it's like a scripture in the Bible, I believe in John 15, like where Jesus talk about, well, you know, the branches that is not of him, he will, you know, remove them, but the things that is of him, he's going to prune for much fruit. So let him, I had to get to the place where I was like, okay, God, change me, make me who you want me to be, but also help me to function, like help me to not only operate, but at the same time, I'm still on earth. Like, come on, help me out, because you know, some things, some desires, and you know, some places I want to go. Like, I'm not finna up here and just say, oh, I'm not gonna go see Beyonce, or I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna see Jill Scott, or I'm not gonna, you know, have a drink or enjoy myself and go see movies and things of that sort. So yeah, I had to get to that place where I had to just find a happy medium with my walk and find myself and figure out who I am in the eyes of God as a daughter, and not be so quick to rush the process to start operating ministry or operating my calling. And I had to realize that the pruning season, the hidden season, the season where God literally prunes you and perfect things within you, is important. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop right here, because I I want y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if this is something that you would like for me to continue on, because I don't want to be all over the place. But yeah, I think I want to stop right here, because if you guys want to hear more, I would love to talk about the wilderness experience of my calling and operating ministry, because honestly, I haven't even really started, to be honest. Like, what God has shown me and what God has called me to is way greater than where I'm at now. Like, I'm like, this is the plane of my calling. I'm, you know, like, I ain't even all the way like taking off yet, but it's just like so yeah, if you want to hear more, let me know, and I will talk about when the Lord told me to stop the singles ministry and how I felt in my wilderness experience. I think that would be a nice transition. So yeah, y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Y'all let me know how was your experience, like your initial experience, because I think that's pretty much the gist of this video, like my initial experience and how I felt initially about starting or operating or accepting my call. So I want to know your experience. Let me know in the comments below. And again, if you want to hear the next phase where I felt like I was in a place where I entered my wilderness experience, and where God was really starting to reveal a lot about my calling, about when I found out that I was called to prophesy and to speak, and being okay with saying that, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at Keep Pressing Demi. Please follow me there, because that's where I'm also, do a lot of my posts and things in that sort. Expect some new content. I told y'all in my last video I didn't move, so I ain't got no excuse. I got time. It's time for me to get into it. So yeah, let me know if there's, any topics that you want to discuss in the area of us accomplishing our goals, in the area of purpose, and in the area of growing closer to your relationship with God. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what type of topics that you want me to talk about. Subscribe, and share with your friends my content. If you believe that what I post and what I put out there, it will be a blessing to somebody else, share it with that individual. And yeah, that's all I got. Just keep in mind and always remember that you got this. Whatever your this is, whether if it's accomplishing a certain goal, or operating or acknowledging a purpose, or even growing closer with your relationship with God, you got this. We got this because God got us. As always, be blessed and keep pressing.